buyer lead can give you a budget, a timeline, and a location. But you can still sit there thinking, okay, what should I ask first? That is the tricky part. In this lesson, we will use Claude to turn that half-clear buyer inquiry into a simple call plan, so you know what to review, what to ask, and what to save before the workflow moves forward. Welcome to Lesson 4 of How to AI in Real Estate. In Lesson 3, you created your market and ideal client brief and saved it inside a Claude project. That means we don't need to start from zero today. Now we'll use that brief to prepare the first buyer conversation. The goal is simple. I want you to see what the buyer already shared, what is still missing, and which questions should guide your discovery call. By the end, you'll have two useful outputs: a lead to discovery decision map and a customer relationship management handoff sheet. These will help you move into Lesson 5, where we start setting up the contact record inside System Me. A buyer inquiry can look pretty strong at first glance. For example, Sarah Johnson provides many detailed informations. That is already a good amount of context. But there is still a difference between good starting point and ready to recommend the right homes. We still need to know more. Which parts of Austin does she actually like? What matters most besides having 3 bedrooms, etc.? These are the details that make the first conversation useful. So, before you ask AI to write a follow-up or help with listings, pause for a moment and sort the lead into 2 groups. First, what do we know for sure? Second, what do we still need to ask? That simple split will make the whole workflow cleaner. For Sarah, the best move is to prepare a short discovery call. The call is where the agent can understand her preferred areas, her real priorities, and how flexible her timeline is. Now open the Austin Family Buyer Workflow Claude project from Lesson 3. This project should already have Sarah's market and ideal client brief saved inside it. That matters because Claude can use the same context you already prepared. You do not need to paste everything into a random new chat and hope the answer stays consistent. Before preparing the call, ask Claude to check how ready the buyer lead is. Use this prompt inside the project in order to let Claude organize the information so you can review it faster. Claude should give you a short card that is easy to scan. For Sarah, it should show that she has enough context for a real first conversation. She has a location, a budget, a timeline, and a clear motivation. Claude should also show the missing pieces clearly. Preferred Austin areas, must-have home features, financing or pre-approval status, all of those are still unknown. That is why she should stay classified as a warm buyer lead instead of hot buyer lead. And this is important. Claude might act like those missing details are confirmed. So you should review the result before actually using it. Once the missing details are clear, turn them into call questions. Keep this part straight. A first discovery call should not feel like a long form. You only need a few good questions to guide the conversation. For Sarah, I prepare 3. First, ask about location. Do you have any preferred neighborhoods or school districts? Then ask about home priorities. Beyond 3 bedrooms, which home features matter most for your family? After that, ask about timing. Is your 90-day moving timeline fixed, or do you have some flexibility? Those questions are simple, but they help a lot. You'll understand where she wants to search, what her family needs from the home, and how urgent the next step should be. By the way, if you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to subscribe to AI Fire. We cover the most important AI updates every day. Our goal is simple: help you stay ahead without spending hours sorting through the noise. So hit subscribe, follow AI Fire, and keep your AI advantage growing. Now we have the buyer brief, the readiness card, and the call questions. Instead of leaving them scattered across the chat, we'll ask Claude to turn everything into one editable artifact. An artifact is like a clean document panel beside the chat. It works well when the output is longer, structured, and something you may want to edit or reuse later. Use the prompt shown on screen. That prompt tells Claude to create an AI-powered lead to discovery decision map for Sarah Johnson. The map has 4 stages and 3 main parts. The rules in the prompt are important, but you don't need to overthink them. We are simply telling Claude to stay with confirmed facts, keep Sarah as a warm buyer lead, and mark missing details as questions. We also tell Claude not to invent risky information. That keeps the output safe for internal planning. Once Claude creates the map, take a quick look at how the information is organized. You should see the buyer's current stage, what is already confirmed, what still needs clarification. That is the main value of this map. It gives you a cleaner view of the buyer journey before you start building the CRM. After you review the lead to discovery map, the next job is to pull out the information that should be saved in the CRM. That is where the CRM handoff sheet comes in. This sheet answers one practical question. What should the CRM remember about this lead? For Sarah, we can save the confirmed buyer context. Preferred areas, timeline type, and homeowner status still need to be clarified. This helps keep the CRM useful because you are saving the information that helps you understand the lead and prepare the next conversation. Once the decision map and CRM handoff sheet are both inside the artifact, compare the full output with the original client brief. This review keeps unverified details from becoming CRM fields, call notes, or future follow-up guidance. For Sarah, the core facts should match. Austin, 3-bedroom home, her budget, the timeline, then check the classification and next action. Sarah should still be a warm buyer lead. The planned next step should still be a 15-minute discovery call. Finally, scan for anything that sounds too confident, like she is pre-approved or Sarah needs the house near a specific school, then remove it. Sometimes AI can be hallucinated, so you have to be careful. Once the artifact looks accurate, save the final lead to discovery decision map. This will help you in lesson 5, where we build Sarah's contact structure inside System E. The handoff sheet makes that setup easier because you already know what the CRM needs to track. If your own workflow is built around a seller instead of a buyer, you can use the Michael Thompson seller template from the starter kit. For this lesson, we'll stay with Sarah, so the buyer workflow stays easy to follow. In this lesson, we took Sarah's buyer brief and turned it into a more useful planning document. You reviewed the lead readiness, turned missing details into call questions, created a lead to discovery decision map, and prepared the CRM handoff sheet for lesson 5. The main idea is simple. Before you build the CRM, make sure the buyer journey is clear. You should know what the buyer shared, what you still need to ask, and what next action should stay visible. Claude projects helped us reuse the context from lesson 3. Claude artifacts gave us a cleaner place to edit the map. In lesson 5, we'll use the CRM handoff sheet to build the contact record inside System Me. That is where this planning step starts becoming a real lead system. Subscribe to AI Fire for more practical AI workflows, real estate automation lessons, and beginner-friendly systems you can build step by step. Goodbye, and I will see you in the next lesson.